How does your sauce go from your manufacturing unit to this kirana store somewhere in a tier 2 city in Bihar? What is that journey like?
So I think to answer this question, and if the idea is to educate the viewer about this, the answer should be in two parts: what we were doing earlier and what it is today.
Okay.
Otherwise, where we are today, you don't start there. So when we had one plant, our system was let's say it's a completely different battle or a challenge to put your product on the retail shelf. वो अलग story. I'm talking about now the story is from plant to retail, right?
Plant to retail.
Yeah,
Okay.
or let's say plant to consumer. Eventual goal is plant to consumer.
ठीक है.
So earlier the story was, or earlier the channel was, our plant was in Rajasthan. We would have one distributor, let's say in Bombay, not one, we would have 3-4 distributors in Bombay, 3-4 in Delhi, 3-4 in Pune, 1 or 2 in Pune, 1 or 2 in Bangalore, where the company will bill to the distributor directly. The distributor will go and bill to the shopkeeper, and hopefully the shopkeeper will sell to the consumer.
Okay. I just have to stop you over here because I need a little bit more elaboration. How did you find these distributors?
Very simply, you go to the market and you meet shopkeepers and ask them to suggest distributors. That is at that time when distributors were not approaching us to do our business. For me, and at that time I was heading sales also, for me the easiest way was the shops that we wanted to be in. We used to go to them and say कि sir कोई distributor बता दो.
Oh wow. So what was your approach? How did you identify कि इस shop में मुझे होना है?
पता ही चल जाता है. For example, if I talk about, I remember like Delhi में, there was a store in Vasant Kunj and the Modern Bazaar. ये store से Bombay में जब मैं आया था, I'm just blanking out on the name. लोखंड वाला मार्केट में चॉइस करके something choice, first choice or choice करके सोसाइटी
तो अपना स्टोर है.
सोसाइटी कॉर्नर में होता था एकदम लोखंड वाला के कॉर्नर में.
अभी भी है.
अभी भी आई एम श्योर होगा. आई हैवंट बीन देयर फॉर मेनी इयर्स, बट ब्यूटीफुल स्टोर. लव. तो आई रिमेंबर गोइंग टू, उधर का एक लड़का था जो आइल संभालता था, नॉट इवन द ओनर, कि सर हम आए हैं दिल्ली की कंपनी को डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर बता दो. ही इंट्रोड्यूस अस टू अ डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर.
Okay.
अब see, also we were naive, so we used to do all of these things, but they worked for us. And that is how we appointed 3-4 distributors. The biggest challenge was to convince the shopkeeper to keep our stock.
Shopkeeper?
Yeah.
But from the outside, it looks like you just have to sell it to the distributor and the distributor will then sell it to the shopkeeper. Isn't that how it works?
No. That is the company's responsibility. That is not the distributor's responsibility. Distributor is your... Think of distributor as only and only a logistic arm of the company. उसका काम सिर्फ है investment. वो investment और logistics वो company से खरीदेगा. By the way, in India there are 3 steps. Number 1 is consignment sale. Consignment sale is माल बिक गया तो पैसे देंगे.
Okay.
Step 2 is PDC. जब आपका माल बिकने लग जाते हैं तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर आपको 3 हफ्ते का PDC, पोस्ट डेटेड चेक दे देता है.
Okay.
The worst stage for a company is consignment. तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर कहते हैं जी आप मेरे को माल भेज दो. आपने मेरे को लेट्स से 20,000 रुपये का माल भेजा. अगर 5,000 का दुकानदार ने ले लिया और उसने मेरे को 5,000 रुपये दे दिए, मैं आपको 5,000 रुपये आगे दे दूंगा. जो जितना माल बिकेगा मैं उतने पैसे दूंगा. सो स्टेप 1 इज कंसाइनमेंट सेल, स्टेप 2 इज PDC and step 3 is advance.
Advance?
Yeah.
Okay. And retail usually works with PDC of 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, typically 3 weeks is the thing.
Okay.
3 weeks से कम का फिर PDC का फायदा क्या? तो 3 weeks is typically. But today, for example, Veeba is at advance.
Advance?
Yeah, we don't work on PDC. We've crossed. We were at the consignment phase, then we became at the PDC phase. Today, in 3 regions of ours, which is North India, West India, and South India, we are at advance. Barring 1 or 2 distributors in South, we're still giving 2-3 week PDC. And East India, we're not doing that well in East India. I think total East, we are present in only 9,000-10,000 shops. It should have been a lot more. Now, for any startup founder listening to this, he might say 9,000-10,000 shops so bahut hoti hain. But if we compare them to our other regions, it's severely unpenetrated. So, but in East, we are still giving PDCs right now.
Okay.
Today, yes, East, any distributor who comes to us, he's coming to us, we're not going to them. So then automatically that conversation changes. There's no concept of consignment sale to as a concept does not exist in our company.
The way you started is you first built your product. and then you went to the retail stores where you wanted to be in. In this case, example, Society at Lokhandwala. By the way, for those who are not living in Bombay, one of the best stores you can find in Lokhandwala where there are just too many SKUs. As in, it's almost like your DMart but looks very small and has all the premium products that you possibly can think of over there.
And I believe they have more than one store now. They've got 3-4 stores.
Yeah, they've got 3-4 stores and they've got 3-4 floors.
Yes,
like I used to go to Society because they also used to have this chart center.
Okay.
And I just got into the store and realized that it's just so big.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went to those retailers where you wanted to be in.
Yeah.
And then you found out who exactly is their distributor. And then you pitched to the distributors. But you're saying that the major challenge is actually convincing the retailers. How do you do that then?
In our case, we see again, first is there's a lot of begging and pleading. Something which we did, and it is very important for me to say this, that this was not by design. India works on trust.
Okay.
We did not create anything on purpose, but we were cash strapped. We did not have money. So money is equal to inventory.
Okay.
What we started doing, we started going and placing less number of products. So if the shop can sell, let's say 10 pieces, because we did not have money, we placed only 6 pieces. So उसके जब 6 पीस हमने रखे तो 6 बिक गए. अगर हम 10 रखते और 6 बिक जाते, so what would have happened? He would have said, यार आपका आधा स्टॉक तो अभी पड़ा है, अभी मत आओ. But क्योंकि we were giving them less stock, this is very important. This is hindsight that we've understood that at that time it was just we had less money, and less money is equal to less inventory. So we said, हमने अगर we have 1,000 bottles at hand, obviously it was not 1,000 bottles. Let's say we've got 100,000 bottles. We wanted to open more stores rather than less stores. So by default we started giving less stock to the same number of shops, to a larger number of shops, and because of that our stock started getting sold faster. And because it started selling faster, I'm sure we must have lost some consumers also, because when you're giving a 10 key shop 6, you lose some consumers. But retail works on trust in India. The shopkeepers started trusting us that these people don't come and एक हिंदी में term होता है माल ठोक के नहीं चले जाते. They give the right amount of stock. So they started trusting us. They started giving us orders. And I think we reached our consignment sales से PDC वाली journey a lot faster than normally a company would have.
So using this as a scenario, what is a learning that you would like to give to a D2C founder today? What would you go and tell that person? Come stock देना है?
See, for any founder, Ganesh, any consumer founder, the biggest खून बढ़ने वाला episode is when you go to a shop and you see it's full of your product. But sometimes you go and block the retailer's shelf because of that. And because of that, the retailer loses confidence in you.
Oh.
So what I am saying is, not कम stock देना है, आप इतना stock दो कि उसकी movement बनी रहे. हमने जो किया, if I had to do it today, I would not have done it. You have to understand there was a lack of money. मेरे दिमाग में एक चीज बहुत clear थी, inventory is equal to money, spread the inventory.
Got it.
So because we were spreading the inventory, what happened was by chance. It was not designed. It also meant that we lost revenue. There's no doubt about that. But what we gained was something much more, which was trust of the shopkeeper. And I think today the shopkeeper of this country, they trust Veeba that we will not do wrong by them. We will come back to them every week. We will give them adequate stock. Yes, today we do have shops full of Veeba stock, but it is sold. There is movement in that.
So what you're saying is, when you give a retailer more stock, as much as you're getting shelf space, you're also occupying another product's shelf space, which might then cause an opportunity cost to
the retailer.
To the retailer.
And which might make him lose confidence in you.
So initially you might feel like, you have more opportunity to sell, but actually you're losing the opportunity to sell because eventually that retailer will just stop asking for your products.
So what does the retailer have? What is his only asset? His asset is X amount of square feet of shelf space. So अगर वो 100 square feet की 1000 square feet shop है, he's got 5 shelves. So that is his only real estate. Now it is like me coming and saying, this beautiful space of yours, I come and occupy 2 spaces without giving you rent. Though it's not rent, it is commission, but it is like occupying someone's house without giving them rent.
Got it.
So why would you do that? Or why would he allow you to do that? He might say, यार चलो display दे दो. एक बार display दे दोगे, 2 बार display दे दोगे. No company has money to give display blindly.
What do you mean display?
Display is that basically I'm giving you money for the shelf. Veeba does not pay display. We are very clear.
Oh.
But I am giving you money for the shelf. अगर हमारा स्टॉक बिके भी नहीं, हम आपको फिर भी जितना आपका expected revenue from the shelf है, हम आपको दे देंगे. But
No, I did not understand this. Could you please elaborate on this?
so, for example, let's say you're a shopkeeper. You've got 10 shelves. 7 shelves में आपका माल जो रख रहे हो that is getting sold. The बाकी जो 3 shelves हैं, एक नई कंपनी आती है कि सर हमारे को अपना स्टॉक यहाँ रखना है. वो कहेगा आपका माल बिकेगा नहीं, तो यू से अच्छा आप मेरे को ये शेल्फ रेंट पे दे दो, इस पे माल रख दो, वो बिक जाएगा तो आप पैसे दे देना, प्लस मैं आपको 1,000 रुपये महीना उधर माल रखने का दूंगा. दैट इज कॉल्ड डिस्प्ले.
Just out of curiosity, how much is this rent? Like if I have to keep 10 bottles of, let's say, the Southwest Chipotle.
For one shelf, typically it will be anywhere between 500 to 2,000 rupees, depending on the stature / size of stock / size of shelf that you're taking
Per month.
per month.
Okay.
Now
okay.
it sounds very less, but imagine karo 2,000 into, like in our case, a few lakh shops. It's a lot. No company can pay display. Display is given. Luckily we don't pay display, but display is given for 1 month, 2 months. कभी किसी शॉप को उनका कोई let's say 15th August की celebration चल रही है, तो आपने जाके 1 महीने का display ले लिया. That is normal. Even ITC will take display, but you can't give it indefinitely. That it's too expensive.
If you're giving it indefinitely, you're definitely not a good brand.
And you'll definitely not make money out of that store, right?
Love it. So now my question is, Viraj, how did you convince these retailers first? Now I understood as to how did you penetrate the market, but how did you first convince the retailer? Because I understand that in level 2, you gained the trust of the retailer.
Yeah.
But at level 0, how did you like approach 10, 15 shops and ask them to keep your product?
Let's say in a city like Delhi or Bombay, we can take either of the two, they're similar in nature. But in a city like Delhi, today, if we are present in, I can't put the exact number, but let's say between 15 to 18,000 shops. We, on day one, were present in, let's say, 500-600 shops. So we must have approached 1,000 retailers. And that is what I was talking to you about in the beginning, that retail is expensive. To approach 1,000 retailers on day one, I needed a field staff of at least 10 people.
Okay.
Otherwise, how will you approach 1,000 people? So retail costs money. GT costs money. You have to have feet on the street. You know, it's a saying for retail, feet on the street. So you have to have feet on the street. They cost money. You have to hire these people, and these people have to, go to the shop every day. No shopkeeper gets convinced in one visit. So you keep going, again pleading, begging, by hook or crook. You just say, sir, maal rakh lo, bik jayega. And eventually it comes down to this, sir, maal rakh do, bik jayega to paise de dena, nahi bikega to mat dena.
I want to go one level deeper over here.
Yeah.
What is the average salary of this field staff?
Between 20 to 30,000.
20 to 30,000. And you're saying that you need to have...
Plus TADA, that is daily expense.
Okay. So...
Travel allowance and daily allowance, it's called, so TADA.
Okay, so you're saying that you need to have at least 10 people on ground.
No, I mean, if you want to do all India, you need to have at least 100.
100.
At least, if you want to do all India, I'm saying even 100 is less for all India, but nobody does all India at one point. But if you want to do a Delhi or a Bombay, Delhi to do without 10 is very difficult. Bombay to do without 6 is very difficult.
Okay, so this is the cost of 3 lakh rupees per month just
On
for
day
the
one.
people on the street.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Now
For one city.
for one city.
So if you're doing Delhi and Bombay together, वो double हो जाता है. Which basically, and you can't, as a founder, you can't take reporting of 10 people on you. So you have a area manager in between. So that guy doesn't cost 30. He'll cost about one per month. So वो overhead day one. So how the retail works is SO, SR in the bottom, sales officer and sales rep. They report into a ASE, area sales executive, who reports into a area sales manager, who reports into a regional sales manager, who reports into a zonal sales manager, who reports into a national sales manager, who reports into a chief sales officer.
Wow.
So that is how the hierarchy runs. Now, a zonal manager is one for the whole zone. So North India, South India, East India, West India. So ये हो गई GT का. Then you'll have a parallel structure in modern trade. But modern trade, you will not need feet on the street like that.
Yeah.
Because you'll need CAMs, key account managers, who will deal with the key account managers or the buyers at the modern trade, and they will have a national key account, national modern trade manager.
Okay.
Then you'll have a similar structure for e-com also.
Hi guys, thank you so much for watching the Indian Business Podcast. If you find value in our work, please hit that subscribe button, because for you it might be a zero effort task, but for us that subscriber count is an important instrument to get great guests to our podcast and to make this podcast better for you. So if you find value, please subscribe.